to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell with the B.B. Cummer Memorial Library here in Sylacauga. Before I get started, I want to thank TV47 and Chris especially for all they do to help us put on our program. Today I've got three guests. We're going to have two now, and then another one's going to join us in a few minutes. We're talking about the Sylacauga Community Choir Christmas Concert, which is coming up December 9th, and joining me are the men kind of in charge of this, I guess. Tim Pearce, Mickey Dean are joining me right now, and David Simpkins will be on in just a few minutes. So thank you guys for getting up early and coming.
Good morning.
Good, good. Well, when is the concert now? I already said December 9th. That's a Friday. Can you tell us some more about that?
Sure, it's December 9th, it's a Friday night. It'll be at B.B. Cummer Auditorium. Doors will open at 6:15 and the show will start at 7.
Okay, okay. Yep. And it's not just the community choir. We're a part of the program, right? Who's the main attraction?
Well, we're having an award-winning gospel group that most people have heard of, the Hoppers, come.
Yeah.
The Hopper family is well known throughout the Southern gospel community. They were actually at our church back in April, and it was a very, very good show. Very good worship session we had with them back on April 1st. They'll be joining us, and the community choir will be singing with them. So it's going to be a fantastic evening of worship together.
I think it is. The music is great. I'm glad to be part of the community choir, so I'm excited about the music. Now we'll back up a minute and tell us about yourselves. Tim, just go ahead.
Okay. I've been living in Sylacauga since 1987. Moved here from Tuscaloosa and from Talladega and from Troy, but I grew up in Opp. Growing up in Opp's a textile town, very much like Sylacauga.
Yes.
And I would see the Floyd and Beasley trucks all the time at the mill. Never knew where Sycamore or Sylacauga was, but here I am. I've been here for 35 years now. I am the worship pastor at First Baptist Church on the bivocational level, and I work with the Griffith Family Music Company in their studio here in Sylacauga.
Okay, good, good. Mickey, how about you?
Well, I'm Mickey Green. I was born and raised here in Sylacauga in the Fayetteville area. So I spent the past 8 years as full-time minister of music at Marble City Baptist Church, and actually just recently went bivocational. So still a minister of music there, doing it part-time. Love every minute of it. I have a family of 4, my wife Sandy and two kids, Lawson and Bailey, 2 teenage kids. So we're all a part of Marble City. We were members there before I went into music ministry there. So I just love music. It's part of who I am.
That is great. That's great. And I know that you guys both work a full-time job and work at the church. So I know it's been very time-consuming to put this community choir together, but thank you for doing that. How do you make that work?
Well, there's really not a such thing as part-time ministry. It's full-time, no matter what you do. But if it's the joy of your heart to do it, I think Tim would agree. It's really not a juggling act. It's part of what you love to do.
Yeah. Well, when it's what you love, it makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
You know, as far as pulling all of this together, I mean, we all have a little piece of it that we do. But on the technical side and really pulling it together is our music assistant, Carrie Sanders, who does all a lot of the technical stuff and then sends stuff out to us. So that's a big part of pulling this together.
Carrie is awesome. She is wonderful. I'm so glad. And we're having rehearsals. It was once a month. Now it's every other week or something like that. With Thanksgiving in there, we're changing some dates around. Is it too late for anyone to join?
Oh, definitely not. They can come. We usually practice on Thursday nights. Our next rehearsal is, this Thursday. I don't know if this program will air before then, but we have a Facebook page for the community choir. All you have to do is search it and join it, and you'll be notified when we have our next practices. And you can join right up until the day of the program, I think, and it would be fine. We want as many people as we can get to sing with the Hoppers on this night.
It's a no pressure type situation with us being the background, and we're running around 50 in the choir right now. So if you enjoy singing, especially the Southern gospel stuff, come on out and join us. It'll be a lot of fun.
It is, it is. So it's not just for like your church choir and your church choir and David's church choir.
For anybody who likes to sing.
You don't even have to be a part of a church choir. If you just have the aspirations to sing in a choir, a larger choir, we would love for you to come.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And that's a neat thing too. You know, we all have our choirs of different sizes, but when you pull everybody together, and you know, now you have 50 or 60. You know, in the past, before COVID, you know, we started this thing, David, it's 17, 18, something like that, with an Easter program. And we would bring in a live orchestra to come in and play. And it was just so refreshing to now, instead of struggle with being one of 15 or 20 in a choir, you have 50, and at times in the other community projects we'd have, you know, pushing 70 or 80 singers. So it's a lot of fun.
Not to mention the spiritual aspect of we can come together as churches with maybe some differences in beliefs and denominational separation there, but we can come together and worship our Lord as one cohesive body of Christ. And it's a spiritual thing on top of being a musical thing.
Great. Well, that is awesome. Is there a charge for the program?
The program is free to the public. As you know, anytime you have someone coming in, there's a price tag to it.
Sure.
So what we're doing is just taking up a love offering that night from the congregation to offset the cost. So again, it's free to get in, but please know we need your contribution to pay for this.
Right. That's good. Well, it should be a fun time, I think. It'll be nice. Well, Tim, I know you're going to step out in just a minute, but tell me about your music background. I know you were involved at Troy, maybe in high school. I don't know.
I guess my musical background started with my older brother. He knew from the time the doctor swatted him on the rear end, he knew that he was going through music.
Oh, okay.
And he sort of pulled me along a little bit. So I've been involved with music since elementary school. Fortunate to have some really good leaders coming through. Right. Really good music program in OP at the time when I was coming through. Was able to be on a music scholarship a couple of years in junior college, and then my last 2 years at Troy as well was on a music scholarship there. As far as church music, you know, it's sort of, I volunteered to direct the handbell choir for 90 days and wound up doing that for 26 years.
Yes.
As far as worship pastor, I was talking to Tony Higginbotham one day, and he said, "Tim, what would you do if you wasn't in the banking business at the time?" And I said, "Well, I like to play golf, but an 18 handicapper can't make any money on the tour. And the only other thing that that really interests me is music, but primarily church music."
Yeah. So you've done it.
And he said, "Well, you know, Sycamore Baptist is looking for an interim." And I remember saying, "That's way too big for me." And fought it. But finally felt led to accept that position for what I thought was 90 days. It turned into 5 years.
Oh, wow.
After that, I spent a short time, 10 weeks or so at Marble City.
Okay.
And then a year down at First Methodist in Alex City. And when I was asked to be the interim at First Baptist, I'm thinking maybe a year, and the end of March will be 10 years.
Gosh.
So it's just, it's been an interesting travel.
Well, Tim and I go to church together, and I appreciate what you've done for music at our church. I mean, we've always had great programs, and people have really been very involved, and we appreciate it. And you and your family too for being so active at First Baptist for all the years when our children were growing up, and especially now too.
And let me mention this, since Mickey did. My wife and I have been here 35 years, but we have 3 kids, twin boys that'll be 31 in January, and our daughter's 26, 27, something, and 4 grandkids. So,
wow.
So now that.
There you go.
Got to get plugged in.
Had to get that plug in.
That is great. Well, we're going to pause for a commercial break, and we'll be right back and talk some more about the community choir.
The Maxie Veazey Senior Adult Activity Center offers the senior citizens in the Sylacauga and surrounding areas lots of fantastic activities throughout the week. Sewing, ladies bridge, quilting, game-o-rama, ceramic classes, bingo, travel club, and lots more. It's all at the Maxie Veazey Senior Adult Activity Center located next to the J. Craig Smith Community Center in Sylacauga. Don't spend any more time alone. Get out, make new friends, and have fun.
Sylacauga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Sylacauga.
Great. What am I going to do now?
Time to visit Brown's Auto Collision.
No problem at all. We've contacted your insurance company and we can get you back into original condition right away. And I just want to remind you that all of our work is covered by a lifetime warranty. We're done.
Wow, that was easy and looks great.
Brown's Auto Collision,
where quality is no accident.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Mickey Green and David Simpkins now. Tim Pearce has stepped out and David has come into the program. We're talking about the Sylacauga Community Choir presentation, their Christmas concert at B.B. Comer High School, Friday, December the 9th. And I was going to say we are joined by the Hoppers. It's the Hoppers concert, and we are joining them as backup singers. So thank you guys for coming, and thank you, David, for being here. Before we get started and more about the program, David, it's your time to tell about yourself.
Okay.
We know you, but go ahead.
Well, of course, I grew up here. My family has been here for a long time. My granddad, my dad were band directors, and then me too for a bit. And then that's great. And then married Katie Howell, who's a former Miss Sylacauga, and now we have two sons, William and Hayden. And William's married to Scotland Martin, his daughter of Scott and Julie Martin, and we have a new grandbaby, Max, and so there's my plug.
Yeah. And he's precious too.
and they're wonderful. And then and I'm currently in my believe it or not 8th year at First Methodist since I retired from being a band director. So.
Wow! And for a while you were you worked at the school and you did music.
I did both for a year, and it was rough.
But
it was great. It was like you said. There's no such thing as part-time ministry, but boy, I felt it that year. It was 24/7, but it was worth it. So.
That's good. That's good. So this is just not a Marble City First Baptist thing. It's First Methodist.
That's right.
Also, that's great.
Yeah.
And any denomination, anybody who wants to sing can just join us.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Right.
This whole thing to me really just started one day. Tim and I were talking and said, "Hey, let's go to lunch and let's talk about." Something, and let's bring Mickey in. And so the three of us, the three amigos, we got in, and we really had that desire that Tim described earlier about creating a situation where we could put all of our choirs together, that we could do something a little bit more than was possible with any of our individual units, and but also something that we could include people from outside of our own faith families, and so it's been well. It's been great. And then, of course, COVID hit a not big hole in it there for 2 years. But this is our first effort to get it back on track. So,
well, I can tell you, it's just being a part of it. It's so much fun. I've sat by and sung with people that I don't normally see. Maybe I know them. Several times I've come in and gone, "Oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time." Gave us a chance to talk. So it's been fun.
Right. Well, we figure we're all on the same team. Like Mickey said earlier, we may have different little theological differences, but we're all on the same team, and it's good to feel that in the room.
Right.
Rehearsal's the fun part.
It is, yeah.
It is.
Well, the concert will be fun too, I think. I'll enjoy hearing the Hoppers.
Yes.
Now, are we singing new music or old songs that they might know, the audience might know?
Yes.
Yes, okay, okay.
So we are singing, the Hoppers have sent us a list of songs that they would like for the choir to back them up on. That's the ones we know that we're singing.
Yeah.
And there are some old classics that you will know from yonder years that they have
Yes.
done and made them popular #1 hits for many years ago. Things like Yahweh and Jerusalem.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they'll sing Shouting Time.
Okay.
Those songs that everyone knows and really light the room up. When they came to our church, it really did. It was a very lively, good concert. But also they'll be doing some new music. So just hot off the recording machine that they've sent us Christmas songs that they have rewritten and sang in his new arrangements. Familiar Christmas songs that they're doing, but in a new and exciting way. So
that's always fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. Now, are they a large group? They're family or?
The Hoppers are all family members with one another. I don't know which family members will come. I think one of the patriarchs, the mother of the group, sometimes she can come, sometimes she can't. Okay. I don't know whether she'll be there, but they're good no matter which ones show up. So they're a good group.
Good. And we'll say again, it's Friday, December 9th at 7 p.m. Doors open 6:15. Okay.
Yes.
And a love offering will be taken to kind of offset the cost of them coming.
And the seating for this, we may run out. So first come, first serve. There's no tickets, there's no reserve seating. So if you can get there early and make sure you get your seat, go ahead and get there early, because that'll be, we can't guarantee. You know.
Right. You can't guarantee it, but it will be a fun night. Well, Mickey, tell me about your background in music. Have you always loved music?
Well, I have no formal training in music whatsoever. Church music has been my thing since I was a little kid. Grew up singing in a family quartet, much like the Hoppers. As a matter of fact, we sang a lot of the Hoppers' music coming up, and it was my grandfather, me, my dad, and mom, and we had a quartet, and we sang around. So started off in that, playing instruments in church, you know. So really a lay person in church music, but God's called me into the ministry of it, and I just really love it. I love every minute of it. I've had to learn a lot along the way, just on-the-job training kind of. But
sometimes that's the best kind.
Yeah. So
that's great.
I give all glory to God for anything He's blessed me to be able to do in His worship.
That's great. Well, you have a great voice. Al, my husband, sings tenor. He said, "Oh yeah, he's got a great voice." So it's fun to be a part of all of that. How do you put this all together? I mean, who contacted the Hoppers, and what made them the group that you called? Is there?
Well, it originally was Tim's idea. He said, "Hey, why don't we have the Hoppers come sing with our choir?" And I thought it was fantastic. David thought it was a good idea too. So really, the Hoppers group is easy to get in touch with. You just text them, and you go from there. And they're a really accessible group too.
And they're from North Carolina,
I believe.
North Carolina.
Yes.
But it's not. You said they've been at your church, so it's not the first time they've been in our area.
Yeah, we had I had their numbers in my phone from that concert. That was just a kind of a happenstance. They were coming through town, needed somewhere to stop and sing, and we let them stop and sing, and it was a good decision. It was a good decision. It was a great night.
That's great. Well, now, will you guys, three of you, sing in the choir? Will you direct? What's your part? Besides all the planning in the background?
A little of all of the above. We'll I guess, sort of swap out with a little bit of conducting. You know, in the background, I would suppose, you know, behind the Hoppers. And, and then when these guys are up at the podium, I'll be singing in the choir. That's how we'll do it. So we're part of the crew. So.
Well, great. Well, that'll be a lot of fun. I look forward to that night. It'll be great. Like we said, there's no charge. Just please come, B.B. Comer High School. And the Hoppers, I've never heard them. I mean, I've heard some of their songs, but I've never seen them in person, but I look forward to that. So if you've ever seen them, please be sure and come. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Are there any plans to do more of this in the future, or should I wait and ask you when this is over?
I think definitely we will. Like I said, COVID kind of knocked us back for a couple of years there, but our last concert we had with the community choir was back in 2019, I believe, and it was a really good night, full house. We had that one at Sylacauga High School and with a full orchestra, and it was a lot of fun then. And speaking for my choir, my church, they love doing this. There's just something about getting in a big group of people singing that just fills your soul. And what we can't do by ourselves, as it's been said, we can do together. And I think it's something that's worth continuing.
Right. It's fun to be part of a large choir.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Usually what'll probably happen is after this is over, sometime in mid-January, we'll call each other up and let's go to lunch again. And I think we kind of, that's one of the cool things about the Hoppers. We, without being too boxed into doing the same thing every year, a Christmas program or an Easter program, it starts very casually, like, what do y'all want to do? and then lo and behold, usually something kind of, we start researching, listening to tunes, listening to different options that we can go with, and then this thing kind of materializes out of it. And so we've tried to kind of mix it between an Easter program and a Christmas program throughout the last few years. But and then when the Hoppers idea came up, it was, oh yeah, sure, let's do that.
That's great. That's awesome. We're going to pause for a commercial break, and we'll be right back and talk some more with Mickey and David.
The Maxie Veazey Senior Adult Activity Center offers the senior citizens in the Sylacauga and surrounding areas lots of fantastic activities throughout the week. Sewing, ladies bridge, quilting, game-o-rama, ceramic classes, bingo, travel club, and lots more. It's all at the Maxie Veazey Senior Adult Activity Center located next to the J. Craig Smith Community Center in Sylacauga. Don't spend any more time alone. Get out, make new friends, and have fun.
Sylacauga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Sylacauga.
Great. What am I going to do now?
Time to visit Brown's Auto Collision.
No problem at all. We've contacted your insurance company and we can get you back into original condition right away. And I just want to remind you that all of our work is covered by a lifetime warranty. We're done.
Wow, that was easy and looks great.
Brown's Auto Collision,
where quality is no accident.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking now with Mickey Green and David Simpkins. They are music ministers or lead music at your churches, Marble City First Methodist, and Tim Pearce was on a few minutes ago, who is music leader at First Baptist Church. So that's just 3 churches here in town. You'd love to have more people join, I know.
Oh, amen.
Other music ministers, definitely. We'll tell again, it's the Sylacauga Community Choir presents a Christmas concert with the Hoppers. Actually, the Hoppers are doing it, and we're back up again. I keep saying it backwards there, but there's no tickets are sold. There's no charge, but a love offering will be taken. And I know these groups are expensive. I mean, as travel cost and everything is so high, not too expensive, but it just does cost a lot to bring a group. So it's December 9th at B.B. Comer High School. We are so blessed to have Sylacauga High School and Comer High School. Those are both large places for a big performance like this. Well, we talked a little bit about Mickey, about music in your life, and David, I know you were a band director. There's a difference in Friday night loud and rowdy band music and Sunday morning music, I think.
Absolutely. But I think the routine's kind of the same, is taking the nuts and bolts of the music that you're studying and then trying to turn it into something that's magical and meaningful and inspirational to the people we're playing for. So whatever kind of group you're in,
That's
music's
true.
music.
That's true. And I think church music especially, I know we did a Veterans Day program, and I'm barely getting through the song in choir because I'm tearing up just thinking about all the men and women who served. So, but then I've laughed a lot in choir, in church, just music that makes you very happy, and I don't want to say sad in a bad way, but just makes you think and makes me tear up. And I know music can do that to everyone.
Oh yeah, music, it opens your heart to the message, whatever message is in the song. No matter the style of music or which has changed a lot over the years in lifetimes. Music tends to change styles, and what's popular seems to change styles. We all have our preferences of which one we like, but like David was saying, the nuts and bolts of it are the same. We use music to open our hearts to the message that God wants us to have. My problem is I like it all. And I can't settle on a style. I'm just going to sing whatever God's put it on my heart to sing and for our congregation to sing. So.
That's the best way to do it, I think. Have a little music for everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
For the younger, for the older, for the kids, for the youth, everything like that.
That's right.
Well, that's exciting. Well, we have a few more days left to practice. It's not too late to join. You said look at the Facebook page?
Yes, Sylacauga Community Choir.
Okay, or probably call one of our churches.
That's right.
They could definitely tell you what to do. Our practices are about an hour, maybe an hour and a half as we're fine-tuning it. Right. And I can't tell you how much fun it's been for me to see, like I said, old friends and make new friends. And there's something about singing in a large group that is, I don't want to say easier, but it's just a little bit more fun.
Yeah, you feel supported and lifted when you're singing next to, say you're a bass singer and you're the only bass singer in your choir.
Right.
Well, you can come to community choir and feel really supported and confident in what you're singing. Right. It makes a big difference.
It does, doesn't it? Well, I thank the three of you for all you've done, all the time you've spent, aside from your full-time jobs and your church jobs, and I know, David, you sing. Even not at church, and you do a lot of singing.
Out and about, yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that is great. I appreciate all you've done to pull this together. And again, it is December 9th on Friday night. Please come and join us. You'll be in for a wonderful program. It's at B.B. Comer High School. No tickets or there's not a charge for it, but we will take up a love offering. So thank you, Tim and David and Mickey, for being here this morning and for all you've done to pull this together.
Don't you have a Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we do have a warm-up performance, I guess, next Sunday, this coming Sunday, November 20th. The community Thanksgiving service is being held at First United Methodist Church. And we'll be meeting the community choir. Anybody can come and join us. This could be your audition.
Yeah.
But you can join us, and we're going to meet at 5 o'clock for a rehearsal. We're going to learn one song. And then at the 6 o'clock worship service, the community worship service for Thanksgiving, we'll perform that piece. It's actually going to be great.